Rivalry week, Thanksgiving, getting closer to the NFL playoffs, college basketball's here, NBA, NHL, maybe the greatest week ever.
If you can't be dialed in this week, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, if your mind's not right, we're about to get it right this next hour and a half.
It's football season, baby. That's what it's about right now. It's Rivalry week. It's football season. The nitty-gritty. Welcome to November. You separate the men from the boys.
Yeah, football, turkey, and winning world wars. It's what America does. Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis suffers a brutal season-ending leg injury. Utah quarterback Cam Rising says he's going to return in 2024. And the Broncos win their fourth straight game. And really, I can't believe it either. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. If you believe that Florida State should not get into the college football playoff regardless because of Jordan Travis's injury, you're just wrong. And you're wrong for many reasons. One, football is the ultimate team sport. Yes, the quarterback is the steak or the entree of the college football dinner meal, but that's not the whole team. We've also seen this happen before. The first team to ever win a national championship in the college football playoff era, it was Ohio State, and their quarterback, Cardale Jones, didn't start until the Big Ten championship game. And better yet, he was really the third string because J.T. Barrett was supposed to back up Braxton Miller, who got hurt in the preseason. We've seen this happen with Troy Aikman at Oklahoma before he transferred to UCLA. Jamel Holloway came in and won a national championship as a true freshman. The ultimate team sport is not defined by one player. And if all these people who want to talk about, making the playoffs, have more teams, waters down the regular season, you want to know what waters down the regular season? When you can go undefeated, win all your games, overcome all the adversity, and still get left out because of one player. Why would you ever be a backup quarterback anywhere? Why wouldn't you just hit the transfer portal at the first drop of a hat, which we're starting to see more in college football, if your team is going to get punished late in the year if you have to become the starter? Just doesn't make sense, and it's not right. If Florida State beats Florida in the Swamp, then they beat Louisville in the ACC championship game. They deserve a spot in the college football playoff, and I think the committee will reward them with one. So for all those out there who think that Florida State is just Jordan Travis, he's a huge part of the puzzle. Nobody can deny that, but he's not the whole thing. And we need to show this team more respect outside of that one position. And obviously, prayers for Jordan Travis and his recovery. I'm going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. Guys, this is just a stupid argument. Just a stupid argument. I could understand if it was a situation like we had in 2004 where Auburn wasn't ranked as high as Oklahoma and USC throughout the year. Oklahoma and USC both go undefeated. Jason White, remember, got hurt during that year, basically walk around with a peg leg. They still played in the national championship game. So punishing a team because of one injury when they've done everything that they were supposed to do and overcome all type of adversity, it's just wrong, David. It's a bad conversation.
You're 100% right. We're talking about a Florida State team that's been undefeated here throughout the whole season and has played the schedule they have with wins over LSU. You've gone on the road to Clemson. You beat Miami. Now we're talking about you have your in-state rival on the road against Florida, and you'd have the ACC championship to win all those football games unscathed, and then the possibility of not making the college football playoff because your starting quarterback gets injured. To me, it speaks to a larger problem that college football has right now. I mean, can you imagine if we were sitting here in the NFL or the Major League Baseball playoffs talking about this certain team is not going to get in even though they've been a 1 seed or a 2 seed the whole time because one of their players got injured.
Great example.
There's too much subjectivity.
Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. Gets hurt, doesn't play in the playoffs, go win the World Series.
Or Tom Brady, Bledsoe back in the day.
Yeah, there's so many examples. I mean, when I was researching just even deeper than the ones off the top of my head, guys that have come in late in the year and made plays. There are so many amazing stories. And look, Tate Rodemaker, the backup, who knows, right? We're going to see. He had some experience last year, got some this year against North Alabama, and it's a tragic situation. But Blaine, the amount of work that gets put in during the offseason, during the preseason, by everyone, not just the starting quarterback, not just the starting running back, not just the starting center, but everyone, the season and your availability or ability to make certain postseason, situations shouldn't rely on the injury of one player. It should rely on the record. You got to be present where your feet are. And they've got Keon Coleman. They've got Johnny Wilson, Jaheim Bell, Benson. These are guys. Tay Rodemaker doesn't have to go in there and be a witch of the highest order. He didn't have to go in there and reinvent the wheel. He's got to go give those guys chances to make plays. He's not going to be as effective as Jordan Travis, but at the end of the day, if they've earned it, they deserve to be in.
I don't think this is going to matter because I think they're going to lose one of their next 2 games.
And that could happen.
I don't know if Jason White's the best comp or situation because he did get hurt and USC beat Oklahoma by 50 in the national championship. So that's the difference. You got to know who Jordan Travis is and how much of a detrimental loss this is to Florida State. This isn't just a guy, right? This isn't just some quarterback. This is a Heisman finalist, a guy who's broken records this year. This is a guy who stirs the drink for Florida State. Look, you're about to go play a Florida team. I don't know if Mertz is going to play. I know he had a collarbone problem. So you got to go play a Louisville team who's a damn good football team. So if you do win both these games, you have the right to get in, but will the committee put you in? That's the thing. What happens around you in college football? If Alabama beats Georgia, right? Will they put a 1-loss Georgia team over an undefeated Florida State team?
No.
Don't doubt this committee to make the wrong decision in the right way. People want to see the 4 best teams. A healthy Jordan Travis puts Florida State in that category. We don't know about this kid. We don't. You beat North Alabama. Hell, one of these starts that he played in 2020 or 2021 was Jacksonville State. In that game, they lost. All right? So the 4 best teams, and I get it, you went undefeated. Trust me, I'm an Auburn fan. I've been on the other side of this. It's not great. All right? And it's a lot different if it's Major League Baseball or NFL. The amount of guys, the quarterback position is so important in football, especially when you're playing against the best. All right, against the Georgias, against the Michigans, against the Ohio States, guys you have to keep up with. The only thing I worry about, all right, if they do win these next 2 games, which might be the greatest 2 wins for Mike Norvell in his history of coaching at Florida State. If you do get in the playoff, right, with this kid, I just don't want to see anybody get rolled in the playoffs. These 4 games or 2 games, whatever it is, how far you make it, it needs to be good games. That's what I get worried about as a fan.
So do you think Florida State, if they do win the next 2, you think they should get in the playoff?
Yeah, I think they should. I think they should, but I don't know if it just depends on what happens around in college football. If Alabama beats Georgia.
They put an undefeated Cincinnati team in.
Yeah.
True. And what happened?
Cincinnati team in. Exactly.
Well, again.
Think about that, all right? Without their best player.
So I don't think there's a guarantee of you're not going to have a blowout in some of these games. I'm for meritocracy. You get what you earn. If Florida State, it's going to be tough for them to win this last 2. I don't disagree with you at all. You know what I was thinking the whole weekend after Jordan Travis got hurt was, man, Louisville, you got to feel even worse about that Pitt loss right now. You got to feel awful about it because you'd have a legitimate chance if you were undefeated and then beat FSU. But we cannot be in the business of taking away accolades or the ability to make the playoff because one player got hurt. Because if that's the case, I mean, man, if your quarterback goes down game 2, your starter, then you're just automatically relegated from the play or knocked out of the playoffs because we're worried you're going to get blown out. The 4 teams that have earned it, and they may not be the 4 best teams, right? We've seen this before. But who would have thought last year, TCU's going in to play Michigan. They're going to get killed. It's going to be a blowout. They end up beating Michigan. Now, Georgia beat the brakes off of them, but Georgia beat the brakes off of Michigan the year before. So there is no guarantees. The best way to handle business is based on meritocracy. If there are 4 teams that are undefeated, if Georgia's undefeated, if Washington's undefeated, if Michigan or Ohio State's undefeated and Florida State's undefeated, and they're the only 4 undefeated teams, those 4 teams need to get in. If Alabama beats Georgia and it comes down to Alabama and Texas for that last spot, Texas should be in because of the head-to-head. Now, if it comes down to Oregon beating Washington versus Texas, if Alabama loses to Georgia, that's a different situation. I just don't want to live in a world where we take away the opportunity that a team has earned by being perfect, beating everyone in front of them, including some games that weren't exactly walks in the park, right? When we have other teams whose schedules weren't exactly the hardest. So I don't want to live in that world. If Florida State wins, they should get in. But it's a battle of the backup quarterbacks this weekend with Florida State and Florida because obviously Graham Mertz went down, and Max Brown's going to have to start there. So we're going to see.
Non-displaced collarbone fracture for Graham Mertz. Sounds like redshirt freshman Max Brown is going to start for Florida, and then like you said, Tate Rodemaker. So that line is -6.5 Florida State still, and they're going on the road to the Swamp. And Florida's lost 4 straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're Billy Napier, what's one way to kind of turn around what's been falling off a cliff is you beat your rival. It's just unfortunate that we don't get that Graham Mertz Jordan Travis matchup. Not just because Jordan Travis, was a Heisman finalist. Go look at Graham Mertz numbers. Graham Mertz has shocked me more than maybe anybody in college football. Mm-hmm. The 2 quarterbacks that have shocked me the most, Graham Mertz in a positive way and Tanner Mordecai in a negative way at Wisconsin. I have been unbelievably impressed with Graham Mertz and the way he's been able to handle this offense in games, too, where they didn't have a run game, like Utah, like we've seen in multiple instances. So I hate that for both of the guys as players, but I hate it as a college football fan as well. We want to know what you think. Should Florida State be allowed in without Jordan Travis if they still went undefeated? But you want to take that line at 6.5. I know the perfect place to do it, and that's with our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. And there's so much to be thankful for this week. Family, friends, food, and NFL football all week long. DraftKings is keeping your Thanksgiving week full of action. New customers can bet just $5 on the NFL action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. No matter your appetite, there's something for you. Money lines, parlays, player props, live bets, and so much more. Plus, we got a ton of great college football this weekend. Unbelievably excited about some of these weekday games, even Maction, right? We got Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Got a heck of a game tonight in the NFL Monday Night Football with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Super excited about that. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use our code BOOSTER. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL Thanksgiving action to score $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Use it with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, when you download it with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Speaking about crowns, if you want to be a king or a queen, that's right, we got our new Booster Club hoodie out. Everybody get excited about it. There's a picture of David looking unbelievably slim and great. We're going to put the link into the chat straight for the hoodie. It's a great product as well. It's very breathable. It's not super duper heavy. You can wear it in multiple situations, climate wise. But we'd love for you to buy one. Be a great Christmas present. Hell, be a great Thanksgiving present. The shipping, it's unbelievably easy. Make sure you check that out. We'd really appreciate it. You can see the logo there. Really nice work by the team. It's the Booster Club, the Trust Tree, and we got more coming. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to Zoki Andrew. What's up, brother? It says, if Louisville beats FSU without Travis, does that hurt their case in the CFP rankings? The small window that they could make their case, it's a chips fall the right way.
No, Florida State, even with Jordan Travis, Florida State lost one of these next 2 games. They're out with what's going to happen. And I don't want to get into predictions too early. I feel pretty good about Oregon and Washington winning this week. Both at home, right? I know Washington State beat Colorado like a drum. But if you have a 1-loss Oregon team play an undefeated Washington team, I think that pretty much solidifies that one Pac-12 team is getting in, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
You look at the Big Ten. We've said all year long, picked Michigan to win it. I see that whoever comes out of the Big Ten East is going to beat Iowa and be undefeated going into the playoffs. So they're in. If Florida State does lose, that obviously opens the door more for Alabama, who I think still would have to beat Georgia, right? The question then becomes, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds, if Big Ten is in, if Pac-12 is in, we have 2 spots, Florida State loses, now you really got to start looking at what happens with Texas, obviously, and if they go down, then I legitimately think if Bama beats Georgia, you could have both Bama and Georgia, or Bama and Ohio State in the college football playoff. That's where it's going to get wonky to me.
All right, let's go to Garnett in gold. What's up, brother? He says, I think Louisville is going to be tough for us. I don't think we're going to win with like we usually do with style points if we do somehow win.
Look, it's all hands on deck. But again, and I love Louisville's grittiness. We've talked about this. This isn't your typical Louisville, hey, let's spread it around. We'll get into shootouts, not overtly physical, make crazy plays, wide open style of offense. That's not who this team is. This team at their core is a physical downhill team on both sides. This team at their core is a team that lines up and they want that fist fight. They want that bar fight. They don't want to duck the smoke. That's what's going to keep them in it against Florida State. And I think they'll be able to score against Florida State, when you look at Thrash, when you look at Jordan, when you look at who they have at the skill position, and you've gotten a pretty good Jack Plummer, not only the whole year, but as of late, outside of NC State and a couple other games, he's been really good. The question becomes, what happens when that ball goes up to Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, and Jaheim Bell, if Rodemaker can just put them in a position to make plays? Because there's not many better trio of 2 wide receiver and tight end out there. And obviously Benson in the run game's been really good too. Rodemaker can run, the quarterback. I've watched him play a little bit. So I can't wait for that game. I think it's going to be really physical, but Louisville's found a way to win, and they're just gritty, man. I like Braum a lot.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Chessburger. What's up, man? He says the ESPN and the CFP, basically the same thing, will drop FSU out of the top 10.
What? Like when?
I mean, I don't know when. I mean, I'm just reading what's in the.
If they lose, I'll be willing to bet.
Let me call ESPN.
I'll be willing to. No, I'm talking about. Is he talking about like for tomorrow's college football playoff rankings? There's no way. FSU is going to be right where they were.
They already dropped one.
They'll end up
AP.
Yeah, I'm worried about the college football playoff rankings. I'm so glad we don't have to deal with the AP ranking goes into this and then this, that, and the other. I would be shocked if Florida State is moved down. Here's what I think the committee hopes. Now this Jordan Travis thing has happened, right? And we're dealing with human beings. I think they hope Florida State loses, and it takes care of itself. They don't want this to be hard. They would love for it to be 4 undefeated teams. There you go. Easy. Got to do it. Hand was forced, right? I even said I think that they'd be fine with if that last spot, if there's no controversy other than that last spot, and it comes down to Texas and Alabama, your work's done for you.
Well, if they want the 4 undefeated teams, they need Florida State to win out.
That's true. That's true.
One's going to lose this weekend.
Well, it's I guess, if Florida State does lose, the winner of the SEC, whether it's Georgia, then we got to see with Alabama. If Florida State does lose, that is going to be where it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, look, if Florida State wins too, your work's still made. But going to get back to the chat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you donate, we're going to read it. Let's make sure we're hot in there. Hit that like button. David, let's get to right and wrong.
All right, right and wrong. Where were you guys right? Where were you wrong?
Where you want to start? You want to start wrong?
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah, I'll start wrong. How about this? I was wrong about Colorado Friday night. The first time I give them a chance to go in, win a game, even stay close.
They forgot their Louis, David.
Huh?
They forgot their Louis bags.
Yeah, well, that Louis is knockoff, all right? Took a +4.
Oh, no.
Even said Colorado could be a good dog pick against a Washington State team that's lost 6 straight.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the case.
Murder.
It was a dog walking.
Yeah, it was.
It was bad. And you got players turning on each other, saying they're selfish styles of play. It's bad.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of hype, obviously, early with what Prime did, but I'll say this, I feel like Colorado already won this year before it was even week 5 with the PR storm that they got. I think when you say Colorado football to me now, I think about it so differently. So differently. It's like a brand new, like a facelift, right? And got, other surgeries done that helped out their appearance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was
see.
the case those first couple of weeks because it was the biggest story in sports, not just in college football. But then they doubled down on that and said, no, see, this isn't just a turnaround and win a couple games. We're a college football playoff team.
Overhype.
This is, we can go win it all. And Shedeur Sanders, what do you say about Jordan Travis? Like the Heisman should just be chilling in his house already after the second quarter of the first game.
Mm-hmm. No, it should be
chilling.
Jumping the gun a little bit.
Should be chilling in his house already. Mel Kiper coming out saying Shedeur Sanders is the number 2 overall pick, locked in.
Oh, people.
So what I'm saying now is
baby.
all that momentum got lost, and yes, it could have still been all a net positive, which I still think it is because you're going to see the transfer portal just explode in the offseason, and Colorado's moving to the Big 12 and all this kind of stuff. But you lost all that momentum because they overplayed a hand basically in the media to me, which was no, we're a legitimate college football player.
Oh, well, it was getting clicks, David.
When the rest of us looked down the stretch of this schedule and was like, something's not going to add up.
Look, you had the people that reached for the clips by just hammering the most overhyped narrative they could or the most negative thing that they could. And this is why you watch Crane and Company, especially if you want to bet on football and stuff like this. We just call it like we see it. Tried to tell you, slow your roll a little bit, right? And again, like I said, I already think they've won. But where I was wrong, James Madison at home, game day.
I blame game day.
How?
Curse.
How? And then you get it to overtime. I'm like, all right, here they go. Not that you're going to cover the 9.5, but just win. I had them in a bunch of my parlays just as a money line bet to win. But I do got to give credit to App State, right? They've been up and down this year, but I was shocked at James Madison's inability to move the ball offensively for legitimately 90% of that game. Like the fact they even got it into overtime. It was 5-3 at one point. James Madison got a safety. I'm like, all right, here we go. Let the momentum. They're a little bit nervous with game day coming there. I get it. I'm not okay. You're not okay, but that's okay. Then all of a sudden it's 10-5 App State. And then I'm like, this is bad. Because James Madison couldn't move the ball at all. You make that incredible fourth down conversion. Then you score the touchdown. You get the 2-point conversion only to lose in overtime. I would rather lose during regulation. I would have rather gotten beat by App State 37-5 than to fight all the way back like that against all the odds, right? You only got so much equity built in the football gods. And you used some of it and didn't get any return if you're James Madison. So that's where that
was tough, man. I really want to see them win, especially with game day being there. Mine, Iowa State. What does Iowa State and Samir Dowdy have in common? They both blew it when it mattered the most. You had your chance. You're at home. I mean, you're close in the fourth quarter. You just couldn't get it done. You have over 300 passing yards. You average 0.2 rushing yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
You could get 11 blind kids out there and go run some runs and average more than 0.2 a carry. So Iowa State, you're dead to me forever. The dead to me board hopefully will be coming soon. It's in the works. But hey, man, you had your chance and you watch an 0-2 fastball go right down the middle. So enjoy losing.
Where are you right, David?
Arizona. I'm going back to the well here. This is 5 straight wins now. Washington State beat them. Oregon State beat them. UCLA, Colorado, and now Utah.
Lock this man up.
4 of those are ranked teams there. That's a 42-18 just thrashing of Utah. Jed Fish, man, clearly has it going. Arizona is 8-3 now, and you're going to go on the road to play Arizona State, which
you're better than.
Favored in that game for a chance to win 9 games this football season. That is incredible. But speaking about Utah, some news from there. Cam Rising is going to return for his 7th year, which proves that Tommy Boy was right.
Van Wilder.
Some people do go to college for 7 years.
Yeah, look good. Hell, I think I got a year. After watching that Auburn-New Mexico State game, I mean, I don't know if I can be much help, but it's all hands. I'll go run into something. Look, Utah lost this weekend, but they kind of won a little bit with Cam Rising coming back. I'm happy for Cam. Look, we can talk about the COVID year and things like that, but it was unfortunate. We kept hearing he might come back, and then he just, it never happened. Obviously, the injury was really bad, but looking forward to seeing him take the field next year. And you talk about Arizona, man, Jed Fish. Out of all the 900 Coach of the Year awards that there are, because there are 900 of them. You have like the main one, and you have like other ones. He needs one of them. I think he needs one of them. I think Braum needs one of them from Louisville. It's been amazing to see what he's doing. My right, Washington. Oregon State was favored pretty much on every book. You looked at the weather. The weather wasn't great. It was raining. Oregon State is a physical team that wants to run the ball. They don't want to lean on the pass. Washington's kind of opposite. They want to lean on the pass, then get to the run, and obviously the weather and being on the road in a big-time game for Oregon State could have negated that, and at some parts it did. But this Washington team got a grimy win against a really good opponent on the road. Was it Michael Penix's best game? Not statistically, but some of the throws he made in tough situations where he put that ball. And when you have McMillan and Polk and Udunze and those guys, it is a little bit easier. But I thought you saw a tough-minded, finesse-style team, if that makes sense. I know those two things are kind of contradictory, but offensively, what they do run is more spread out. It's more wide open. It's getting the ball out in space. It's not really downhill. But they were able, and we've seen this before a little bit with Washington, they're kind of a chameleon. Right? They can play your style if they have to, and you don't see that a lot with that type of system. But no, I had them winning it. I thought they were a good underdog pick. I believe both y'all had them as your dogs as well.
Yep.
On locks, leans, and dogs. So, watching Michael Penix do what he did in a matchup where everything was going against you in a game that you had to have makes me really believe that if Washington does get in that playoff, they can run with these guys. They can. This isn't the Washington team that played Bama a couple years ago in the playoff, right? And just got picked up and thrown out of the club because it's just science, right? I think this team has a little bit of an edge to them. Now, will they win those games? I don't know, but I don't think it'll be as dominating of a performance against them in the playoff. I was very impressed with Washington and glad I was able to nail that one.
So Washington's defense stepped up too.
Thought they did too.
When it really mattered. What I was right about, surprise, surprise, them Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
It's not a matter of if, right, when you're playing Georgia. It's just a matter of when. When are they just going to start whipping your ass in a football game? And you saw that with Tennessee. Tennessee comes out first play. Bang, bang, 75-yard rushing touchdown. everybody's freaking out. But what does Georgia do? Just like the Georgia teams from other year, they just slowly get you in a headlock right here and just give you a noogie and take you to the bathroom and give you a swirly. They're that good. And for all the Tennessee fans, Jordan Rodgers, I can throw you in there too, buddy. Joe Milton's the best quarterback in college football.
And we love Joe.
I love Jordan. Jordan's hilarious. He can complete a dig route, buddy. He can barely throw a swing. He still throws at 300 miles per hour. Georgia's the best team in college football. And right now, it's not even that close. I don't think they haven't gotten a third down the entire year. Hadn't sat farther than 3rd and 5. And the crazy thing about it is they're getting healthy.
Yeah.
They're still building the robot. All right. But by the time that SEC championship game comes, Georgia Tech, prayers out for you, brother. Good luck in this one. Y'all been playing great this year. It's like the Hunger Games. I'm not volunteering for you. You go have a great time out there. I'll be watching. All right?
Hey,
you go have a great time. Get a weapon early. Get a weapon early.
Yeah. Don't grab a knife. Grab a gun. Here's what I think Tennessee did to their fans. You know who Tennessee was? Tennessee, that first play touchdown. You know, they keep doing this against Bama. First drive, Joe Milton, throw of his life, right? And we talk about hype train. That Joe Milton hype train this offseason was a runaway train. But Tennessee, to me, they keep teasing their fans. They're like the pretty girl in school who, you know, kind of just talks to everybody, you know, just give you the time of day and make you think you have a chance. And then just all of a sudden, here comes Georgia in, who's like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. You know, it's just that they're like, hey, we can do this. Look at us. First play against Georgia, it's our time. And then nothing. Just nothing. Oh, hey, you know, hey, Stacy, how's it going? Oh, hey, yeah, it's going good. You're really good looking. Then all of a sudden, why'd you ignore me the last 3 periods? Hey, did you read that note I left in your locker? You know, do you want to go hang out? Maybe go to Blockbuster or something? Rent a movie? I don't know.
Good time.
Those were good times. Blockbuster and chill.
75-yard touchdown run on the first play.
Dude.
And then a couple minutes before halftime, you have 57 total yards.
It was...
You went backwards.
But again, would
Georgia
you
just
rather...
does it because they want to feel something.
No, I'm starting to think you're right.
They just want to feel something.
In the beginning of the games, it's like, look, guys, we won it 2 years in a row. We're good people here. Like, we want them to... We want them to feel at least good about something for a second. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Wright, 71-yard touchdown run, rest of the game, turn the faucet
Well, they're going to
off.
get everyone's best shot early, especially when teams are on script.
For sure.
And they're not the only one. You see Alabama goes through this.
But inside zone, first place, 71?
I was surprised with as much as anyone.
Yeah. I was walking downstairs. Like, I just watched the kickoff. I'm like, all right, here we go. Can't wait to watch Joe Milton overthrow 2 guys on a slant route.
Touchdown.
Yeah. First play, bang, 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 bang. So, right and wrong, another good weekend betting college football, boys. Pretty hot. We want to know, where were you right and where were you wrong? But one place where I know we're always right is when it comes down to Good Ranchers and the meat you need to be able to put on your grill and have in your house, whether it's chicken, whether it's steak, whether it's seafood. They've got everything, and you can claim your year of free meat for $15 off and free shipping with our code booster at goodranchers.com. They're the #1 place to get all-American beef, pork, chicken, and seafood. Use our promo code booster at goodranchers.com. And this November, like I said, you get to pick your favorite meat to get for free. All right, absolutely free for a year. All right, steak, salmon, chicken, or bacon. Let me say this again. Steak, salmon, chicken, or bacon when you subscribe to any box right now. That's
Wow.
a $480 value.
Wow.
Like, I can't give you anything better than that. Like, to food, wines, deliciousness. Good Ranchers, it is American meat delivered. Use that promo code booster at goodranchers.com. All right, before we hop into a little bit of the NFL this weekend, let's get back to the chat by now.
Let's go to Branson Graves, 2020 with a $20 donation. Appreciate it, brother. Says, hey, guys, wonder if there's a really a way to keep the SEC out of the playoffs. They have won the 5 out of the last 6 national championships.
Yeah, well, Georgia obviously can't win out. You know, if Georgia wins out, then they're going to be being undefeated. This is assuming that they beat Georgia Tech, which I don't like to assume, but I feel pretty good about that one. I need to look at the line for that. I don't know what it's opened up at. It's probably in the double digits.
Yeah.
It would have to be a scenario for the SEC to get left out where Alabama beats Georgia. So let's start there. If Alabama beats Georgia and Florida State goes undefeated, Washington goes undefeated, and a team from the Big Ten goes undefeated, that's 3, and it'll come down to, let's say Texas beats Texas Tech, wins the Big 12 championship, it will come down to a 1-loss Alabama versus a 1-loss Texas. Mm-hmm. And right now, Alabama's a better team than Texas. I would take all my money and put it on Alabama if they played in a neutral site. But guess what? They already played earlier in the year, and Bama got beat at home. The regular season matters. I don't care if it's the first week or I don't care if it's the last week. And I go back to what I said about Jordan Travis. You want to talk about watering down the regular season? You want to know another way to water it down? Make head-to-head not matter, right? I would never schedule anybody again that was remotely good, ever, in the non-conference. And especially when you have conference realignment and great teams going to conferences like Texas and Oklahoma go in the SEC. But that would be the scenario, right? Alabama would have to win the SEC. And, you know, where it gets wonky to me is if it comes down, if Texas is out of it, right? If Texas loses another game. And let's say Alabama beats Georgia and you got Washington, let's say that they win or beat Oregon, or you got a 1-loss Oregon team there going up against, you know, a 1-loss Alabama, a 1-loss Georgia. But then, to me, Alabama should get in over Georgia because they beat them head-to-head. That's just the way I roll. So there is a scenario out there, but they all involve Alabama beating Georgia in the SEC championship, which we'll see. That's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Georgia minus 23 right now against Tech.
Yeah. On the road.
Turns out. Let's go to Eric Long, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
David, how did that 1,000 win feel as a former QB?
It was awesome, man. It was cool. And I saw some stats this weekend that it's the first football program in the history of the sport to hit 1,000 wins. I think Valdosta High School is at like 950, something like that. And then even in the NFL, the Packers are at like 700. So it was really cool to see. And congratulations to Sharon Moore for keeping the train going. I mean, without Jim Harbaugh, you can see that they're not quite the same team as when he's there. Sharon Moore's having to do everything, having to be the CEO, the decision maker, and then also call the game plan. So we'll see how that plays in this weekend.
Well, you know, we always talk about continuity and how important that is with 18 to 22-year-olds. And this is another thing I was thinking about this weekend. Jim Harbaugh has been suspended so much this year that is the new norm really him not being there? Like at what point does that become the new normal? And I think it's easier to kind of acclimate to when he comes back as opposed to, you know, the first time trying to acclimate to him not being there. Because a lot of the stuff is situational, right? And look, Jim schematically is really good. He obviously knows what's going on. He's quarterback in the NFL. He knows what he's looking at, and I know he has input there in all 3 phases. But the situational when to go for it. And I thought Sharon did a really good job of taking chances when he needed to take chances. It obviously worked out for him. You know, they were able to beat Maryland. So I'm just wondering, when is Jim Harbaugh not being there the new normal? Like when he comes back for that first game, they're like, hey guys, Coach Harbaugh's like back for the game. It's such a weird situation, but it's an unbelievable accomplishment.
All right, let's go to Broken Devil Dog. Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Line for Michigan versus Ohio State is -4. Michigan, I believe, just started at 3.5. What do you think? Do you think it'll go up or down?
Oh, we're going to be diving deep into that one. Yeah. I think it may fluctuate both ways a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if it got bet down more later in the week. That's why I'm going to wait. If there's any way this thing could get back down to 3.5 and I can buy that extra point and get Michigan at 2.5. But I'm going to tell you what, early returns, David, and, you know, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to jinx anybody. I think Michigan may beat them up. I'm just telling you. I think Michigan may be. Kyle McCord is due to have a disaster. It's due to happen. Not that I think he's going to be fine down the road, right? But this game in the big house, I'm just telling you, the more I look at it, the more I think Michigan may win this by a touchdown or more.
Well, it's the first time since I've been affiliated with the rivalry that Michigan has been favored in Vegas. So that should tell you something.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, at least, what
was it last year?
Buckeyes were favored.
At home, that makes sense.
And that one was at home, so that one at least made sense. So it's just weird for me to see a minus sign beside Michigan's name anytime going into this game, and your head coach isn't going to be there. So at least it's at home. I think we're in for an incredible showdown. I really do.
Let's go to Sasha with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Sasha. There are five-win teams playing a top 25 team this weekend. Which one gets to 6? MSU, TCU, Nebraska, Florida, or Washington State?
You said Michigan State?
Michigan State, TCU, Nebraska, Florida, and Washington State.
Not Washington State.
Who's Nebraska got?
Florida's got a chance, obviously, with Jordan Travis being out. We'll see with Max Brown.
Nebraska has Iowa?
Low scoring. Yeah, I got to see the matchups. I'm trying to remember.
Nebraska?
I think Nebraska has Iowa. I looked at this over-under. Is it 27.5?
Nebraska has Iowa. Is it at home?
I think.
Yes, it is at home.
Who does TCU
1.5?
TCU has...
I want to say it's like Iowa State.
Oklahoma on the road.
Man, that shot's Nebraska, right? Who's Michigan State got?
I do not know who Michigan State has. Dude, that Nebraska game.
Well, it's always ugly. Let's see.
Michigan State plays Penn State at home.
God, best shot to me is Nebraska and Florida.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, have you watched Oklahoma play in the last couple of weeks? I mean, they're vulnerable as hell to get beat, especially TCU. I mean, TCU can get hot at the right time.
It's at Oklahoma, though? Yeah. Dylan Gabriel should be back. Man, that's not hitting that TTP. That was one of the few bets I missed. That and James Madison. Just because, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, and look, Oklahoma defensively, that's another story. But Dylan Gabriel gets hurt right before halftime. And BYU, I know they got up and it was senior night and all this stuff. But that's a bad football team. Iowa State made them look like the little giants with Becky in the icebox and that little kid with the glasses. It's always flexing in the mirror.
I was going to Chase Mills, been doing my whole life, Bubba. Hashtag Ask Cranico. Is there any chance the way Iowa plays defense throws whoever they play in the Big Ten chip off their game so badly that the Hawkeyes can maybe pull off a win?
Can't score. Well, it's Ohio State or Michigan. Can't score. Eventually, as good as Iowa is on defense, that dam will break even if it's a little bit. And a little bit is enough to beat this Iowa team because they're that bad offensively. And I don't take any joy out of making fun of Iowa on offense, right? I've got no problem with Iowa. I lived in the state. I coached in the state.
I enjoy it.
But they are anemic offensively. And when you go up against the Globonauts that Michigan and Ohio State has on defense, I'm sorry. You think it didn't work against Indiana? Good luck. Look at the things that just got off the bus. Was you just going to magically witch your way through? You're just going to line up, run right into that? You got a better chance of everybody in Iowa, wherever the hotel is that they're staying, lining up and trying to run the ball against the hotel. You'll get more yards that way. Like right into the side of the wall. Good luck.
I hit that under again, though.
Free money.
15-13.
Free money. All right, let's get into the NFL real quick. We're going to preview these college games. The phone line's open at 7:15 a.m. Central, 8:15 a.m. Eastern. Get your questions in there. I'd like to hear from new people, too. David, what do we got?
I'm hearing music in my ear.
No, that's a good intro.
All right, let's start. That is a good intro. Let's start with the Denver Broncos, all right? Started 1-5. Now they've won their last 4. Looks like, to get to 500, it looks like the Sean Payton and Russell Wilson experiment is starting to really cook. You know, Russell Wilson last 5 years had, passer ratings over 100. Pretty much for his entire career, except for last year where it dipped to 84. And we all wondered, is that just a new team? Is Russell Wilson, has he fallen off? Maybe that was just the Nathaniel Hackett element.
Well, look, I always think it's multiple things. I don't think it's just one thing. But when I watch Russell right now, and you saw it again last night, look, were they great offensively last night? No. I thought Will Lutz, obviously did a really good job. If you had him in fantasy, it was a pretty good situation. But when I look at Russell right now, he looks like he's moving better. Oh, yeah. Like he's twitchier. It's almost like he was hurt or he was slow playing things. If you go back and watch old school Russell Wilson, people forget his escapability. People forget his improvisational ability, his ability to extend the play. Not only, outside of the pocket, with his feet taking off, but inside of the pocket, his movement's always been pretty good. But he looks a little bit like young Russell running around, making guys miss, letting a play go for 5 seconds. I mean, last night he was 27-35, 260 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He's not making the huge mistake. And they couldn't run the ball last night. I mean, Javonte had 37 yards on 11 carries. It was Russell Wilson. They outlasted him. But it looks fresher. And like they say, man, confidence isn't just a river in Egypt.
I think this is more about the Broncos' defense. Why the Broncos have been winning football games is because their defense has been playing extremely well. And look, man, I don't think this Vikings offense is slouches either. I mean, Justin Jefferson's out. Nobody can tackle Josh Dobbs. Nobody can do it. It's impossible to do it. I don't know if he just rubs Vaseline all over his pads and jersey before the games. But the Broncos defense are the reason they're winning games. The Broncos couldn't score a touchdown until late in the fourth quarter. They kicked 4 field goals. 4 field goals. But what did the defense do? They turn you over. They stop you when it matters. That's why the Broncos are winning games. Their offense is coming along. I think you're finding out the pieces that you have. Jerry Jeudy's getting there. Sutton's getting there. I mean, you have Javonte's getting there. You have the right guys. It all starts with Russell. But the reason the Broncos are winning football games is because of their defense and not their offense.
Well, see, I think it's because they play complementary football. And complementary football, to me, doesn't just mean you go out there and you're scoring 40 points a game and you give up 10. I think the offense has taken advantage of opportunities and clutch moments and made the plays that they've had to play or make, right? You beat the Packers 19-17. We know the Packers aren't great on offense. You made the plays in that game offensively late to win it. You go to the Chiefs, you beat them 24-9. Again, defense is outstanding, Blaine. I think you're right there. But you made the plays offensively when you had to make them. You beat the Bills 24-22. You score when you had to score. You got stops when you had to get stops. And then Minnesota, right? It wasn't pretty on offense, but you made the plays to get yourself in field goal range, and the defense made the stops to be able to win the game. That's why it is the ultimate team sport, like we let off the show with. And if you can just play complementary football and be advantageous in opportune moments, then you can win games in the sport. And I think that's what they're doing. I think it's a full-fledged, total kind of reformation of who they are from a team that found ways to not only lose but get destroyed. They have now started to find ways to win, and they have confidence in those moments, and that'll keep building. You got the Browns at home next, and you go to the Texans, then to the Chargers, who are an absolute disaster right now. So it's not going to get a ton easier. You go to the Lions right after that, but they're finding ways. Now all of a sudden you look up, you're second in the AFC West at 5-5 after you were dead and buried by a lot of people, including myself.
You turn the Chiefs over 5 times. You turn the Broncos over 4 times. You turn the Packers over 3 times. That's what you have to do to win games.
Yeah.
That gives an offense who's not great, all right, opportunities to score. That's momentum, right? And field position is half the battle. So if the Broncos can keep winning the turnover battle, which they're doing, which is one of the best teams to do it in the NFL, they'll have a chance. I don't think their offense is good enough, though, to take them where they need to get.
No. I agree with that.
All right, let's move on. You talked about the Chargers. Packers 23-20 over Los Angeles. Jordan Love, 322 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This moved the Chargers here, one of the more talented teams in the NFL, to 4-6. And the Packers also rushed for over 100 yards. You know, at what point is enough with Brandon Staley in L.A.?
Well, I mean, we know who he is. We just talked about the Broncos making plays in clutch moments. The Chargers can't. The Chargers find ways to lose games. It seems under Staley's regime that they find ways to lose games. Going back last year in the playoffs, up on the Jags like they were. Brandon Staley got upset with the reporter, asked him about, his style of play calling and will he keep calling the defense, and he got a little testy, which is fine. You ain't going to talk to me like that if I ask you that question. I don't care if you're the head coach of whoever. It doesn't matter to me. But now, you've lost back-to-back games by 3 points. You beat the Jets and the Bears. Those are your only 2 wins in the last 4 games. You lost to the Cowboys by a field goal. You lost to the Titans by a field goal. You can't win close games. This is who they are. And there is blame to go around. I don't think it's just Staley, right? It just seems like the Chargers snatch victory from the jaws of defeat more than just about any team that there is. And that is a culture problem. That is a DNA problem. And it's sad to see because I love Herbert. Eckler, Blaine's former teammate, fantastic player. Fantastic player. Gerald Everett, a guy who coaches South Alabama. I want him to do really well. But this Chargers team, losing is in their DNA. This is who they are under Brandon Staley. Just like the way Dan Campbell flipped the DNA of the Lions. Remember, the Lions knew how to lose. They would show you how to lose. They'll show you the way. Dan Campbell comes in there and says, you know what? The first thing we have to change is our belief. Because if we change our belief, we give ourselves a chance. I think the Chargers think they're going to lose. I really believe that.
Blaine, Chargers had a chance to get Brian Daboll when he was the OC at the Bills. Didn't take that shot. Had a chance, really, to get a couple other big coaches. Sean Payton was one of them who was interested in staying in L.A. Didn't do it. They went with Brandon Staley, and here's where we are.
Yeah, mistake. Brandon Staley's wasting Justin Herbert's career. That's what Brandon Staley doing. And if you're the owner of the Chargers, you need to fire Brandon Staley. This is multiple years again that they give up over 120 yards a game average on the ground against opponents. Yeah. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You call the plays, right? That's what you do. All right. What's been the weakness of your entire team is the run. All right. You started off pretty good a couple games early this year, but hell, gave it up to the Packers. I think 105 yards. That's the reason you lose. You have all the offensive weapon power. You have Keenan Allen. I mean, you got Herbert. I mean, you got Eck. I mean, Palmer's hurt right now. You got plenty of offensive weapons. Hell, you got Derwin James. You got Bosa, who did get banged up yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw that. But sooner or later, you have to find the problem. And he knows it. He knows it. That's why he got so pissy in the interview afterwards. Yeah. He knows it's coming. That anvil's sitting up there, buddy.
Acme.
It's sitting up there, and it's going to fall sooner or later. And Chargers, you need to cut the arm off before it spreads to the body, dude. That's what you got to do.
You know, we have Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will. I think we should invent a new law called Staley's Law, in which if you can find a way to lose the game, you will. Staley's Law. Right there.
I like that. Print it. All right, big matchup tonight. We get the Eagles going to the Chiefs. So Eagles 8-1, Chiefs 7-2. One of the better Monday Night Football matchups we're going to get.
I know, finally. You know, it seems like we can't catch a break, and we finally did this past week on Thursday Night Football with the Ravens and the Bengals, even though, you know, Joe Burrow's out for the rest of the year, which absolutely sucks. It seems like quarterbacks are going down left and right. Very, very interested to see the Chiefs defense, who's been playing really well, match up against this Eagles offense that we know has a ton of weapons. If I'm the Eagles tonight, and you got to be careful with Jalen, you can't run him too much. I think we're going to see more quarterback design run away from Chris Jones, right? The Chiefs like to move Chris Jones around different spots on the defense line. He can play inside and outside, kind of like, you know, Vita Vea from the Bucks, which is just insane watching that guy play football. But I think Jalen Hurts' legs are going to be the difference tonight. Obviously, we know Mahomes is a witch. Kelsey's going to do his thing. The Eagles defense, we'll see. Whenever you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, I never feel great about it with Andy Reid. But I just feel like this is one of those games where Jalen Hurts may have 2 or 3 touchdowns on the ground. I want to see the pace at which the Eagles play. You know, how much keep away are you going to play against Patrick Mahomes at home in Arrowhead? I think that's going to go in the equation. That's kind of built into what they do anyway. But A.J. Brown on the outside, obviously Devontae Smith. When does Swift have that big game? When does he kind of bust out and have that big one? Gainwell's kind of a sneaky back too. I like the Eagles tonight.
Chiefs -2.5, over under like 45.5 right now. How you feeling?
I need the Chiefs to triple guard A.J. Brown this entire football game.
You in a tight fantasy match?
I tell you what, I'm so sick of fantasy. I have Mark Andrews and I have Kenneth Walker. And I'm up 10.
I had Kenneth Walker.
You're up 10 right now.
I'm up 10. Somehow I'm up 10. He has A.J. Brown.
So that's it. You don't have any. He's got A.J. Brown.
A.J., yeah, I mean, how's the tummy? I feel like you got a fever.
God, 9.
You know, it's kind of hundreds of sweats. Maybe it's a COVID situation. I don't know.
Blaine's trying to start A.J. Brown as COVID.
But look, man, this Chiefs team's kind of a little weird this year.
They are.
I think their defense is a top 5 ranked defense. I think their offense is 12th or 13th, and it's usually reverse of that. So this is going to be interesting. This game is at Arrowhead, so I'm sure Patty will play great. I mean, Travis Kelce's got all 5 of his booster shots, so he should be good too. But I'm telling you, the Eagles are a sneaky football team. Is Bolton playing for the Chiefs? That's what I need to know. If Bolton's playing, I kind of leave Chiefs. If not, I'm going to go Eagles. I think Devontae Smith has a huge game. Yeah, and AJ doesn't do anything. Yeah, we're going to see. I'm excited to see it. Like you said, it's a good situation. We have a good game on Monday. All right. Going to get to calls here in a minute. The lines are open. If you get on hold, wait for us to take a call. We'll be able to open that up. Do want to tell you guys, though, one call that's easy to make is when it comes down to skincare, regardless of male or female, Genucell's got you covered, right? It's a great holiday gift to make sure you're the hero of the season. Now, we all know the holidays can be a little bit hectic, the shopping, the cooking, the never-ending list of things to do. And guys, if you're behind on the gift giving or you're just getting started, which means you just got in there at the right amount of time, depending on what you're getting, Genucell is an easy dub. Take the easy dubs. Just ask Auburn. If you go to Genucell.com/booster, that's GENUCEL.com/booster, you get an incredible holiday discount. Every order today is instantly upgraded to free express shipping.
That's right. That's Genucell.com/booster. They've got a little bit of everything. They're a great skincare company. Our producer, Justine, uses it. I use it. My wife does. We all do. Why do you think David looks so good? You deserve to look and feel your best this holiday. It's an easy win. Easy win.
Easy.
Genucell.com/booster. Genucell.com/booster. Do that after you buy that new hoodie we got. That looks so super duper fly. All right, before we get to call-ins, let's preview a couple of these games.
Let's preview. We got the Egg Bowl Thursday night,
Yes.
so I want to go ahead and break this one down. Ole Miss going to go to Mississippi State. Ole Miss only losses on the season at Alabama and at Georgia. Other than that, Lane Kiffin has this team 9-2 this season, which is fairly incredible. Not quite the same for Mississippi State. Just fired Zach Arnett. The line right now on this game, though, is -11. Ole Miss, even going on the road, and over under 55.5.
Obviously, Zach Arnett not with Mississippi State anymore. Will Rogers been banged up. Mike Wright, the Vanderbilt transfers, has been in there playing. I think Mississippi State, you got nothing to lose. Right, you might as well empty the whole bag. But Ole Miss is playing, I think, for a New Year's Six Bowl, right? That they'll have an opportunity to be in the conversation with it. You look at the college football playoff rankings and what's going on with your only losses to Bama and Georgia, as you brought it up. I think Mississippi State will hang in the fight early. But just eventually, I think that dam will break. Jackson Dart and them did not play well against Monroe for most of this game. Obviously, they knew what they had coming down the pipe. Tried to hold a little bit back, got a little bit scary there, but they were able to pull away in the second half with a big run early. I think they scored on like 4 straight drives. I just don't think Mississippi State offensively will be able to put up enough points to actually win this game. Don't be shocked if they come out and get a field goal early or they fake a punt or they do something. I think Ole Miss just needs to go in there and play loose. That's Lane's personality. I think that kind of bleeds to his team. They're very confident, borderline arrogant, which is what you have to be. I just don't see Mississippi State having enough firepower in this game to score enough points. It would take an incredible defensive effort and Ole Miss just flat out playing bad. To be honest with you, turning the ball over. Jackson Dart reverts back to what hurt him last year. Even if Mississippi State moves the ball inside in between the 20s, I think Pete Golding and that defense, even with Mike Wright's ability to run the ball, I just don't think they got enough.
Remember, it was a year ago, everybody was talking about Lane Kiffin possibly going to take the Auburn job. It looked like that affected them in the Egg Bowl game, when we were leading up to that. This year, it seems like a completely different Ole Miss team.
Yeah, I don't know who was talking about Lane going to Auburn. It definitely wasn't me. Look, this Egg Bowl is always weird.
It is weird.
It's always weird. Mississippi State going through a lot right now, firing their head coach. This spread opened at 13.5. All right, it's sitting at 11.5 right now. Mississippi State, you would seem they would get up for this game. And a lot of people are believing in Mississippi State to pull off the win. I'm not one of them.
Who's believing?
A lot of people in Mississippi State and Starkville.
Yeah, a lot of people in Starkville right now.
Right, a lot of people. I'm not. I think Ole Miss. You got Ole Miss has a chance to win 11 games. 11. You know how bad Lane wants this? Just to get to 10.
Yeah.
Just to get to 10. Everything. Lane can't win 10 games. Lane can't win 10 games. I think Ole Miss is going to roll Mississippi State.
Here's the question, though. That line's been getting bet down.
Good.
Okay, it's on Thursday.
Keep going.
This thing's at 11. Do you just let that thing see if it can't just keep dive bombing?
It gets to 9.5.
Yeah, it gets to 9.5. Yeah.
It won't.
It's 11.5 and already went 2 points, Dave. It started at 13.5. It's at 11.5 now. It just keeps on going down.
You'll be watching this like a sniper with a scope in the woods.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Oregon against Oregon State, and just a really great end of the season matchup here. Oregon's only loss by 3 on the road at Washington, the final minute when Michael Penix Jr. hit that big touchdown. And we saw Oregon State this past weekend had a chance to beat Washington. They played close at home. Washington ended up pulling away, but they're still 8-3 on the year, and they're going to go up against this Oregon team that's 10-1. Any chance for an upset here, or is Oregon keep rolling?
I just think Oregon is just so hot right now. I mean, Bo Nix, what they're doing just as a team, right? Just we talk about complimentary football. They're a 13.5-point favorite at home. It's a lot of points. The over-under 62. I just don't think this Oregon State defense, and look, you had the weather by your side against Washington and things like that. We'll have to see what the weather is, obviously, in Eugene this weekend. It is at home for Oregon. But this Oregon State team, as much as we've talked about, them being a physical team that wants to run the ball and play good defense, they've been up and down defensively. You've seen them give up a lot of points, even to teams that they really shouldn't have, in my opinion. I think Oregon right now, offensively, outside of LSU, probably them and Alabama, you can throw in a couple more, are the most dangerous offenses in the country because they can do everything. Oregon can line up, if you want to have a light box, Oregon can line up and gap scheme you to death. If you want to sit here and have a heavy box and make Bo Nix beat you, that's fine. He'll kill you with his arm. And then running ability. I think Oregon State is going to be running into a brick wall. This is one of those games where I feel like DJU has 2 or 3 interceptions. One of them's a pick 6. I'm leaning Oregon minus the 13.5 right now, David, just because I don't think DJU throws the ball well. And I think DJU is a little bit, and some people disagree with me here, and that's okay, is a little bit better version of Joe Milton. That's what I think.
Well, that is a lot of points, especially in a rivalry game like this. But Oregon's trying to do a couple things. One, they're trying to get into the college football playoff with a loss, which everything matters. Margin of victory matters down the stretch. Style points matter. But also they're trying to win Bo Nix the Heisman Trophy. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not the number one priority, but that's something they're considering. Weather forecast for Eugene on Saturday, 48 degrees and sunny.
Well, and don't forget.
7:30 game.
Yeah, don't forget last year, Oregon was beating Oregon State, and Oregon State just lined up and ran it down their throat. Don't think for a second every day this week Dan Lanning is going to be talking about it. I think you're going to have a pissed-off Oregon team that is still embarrassed by getting big boyed in front of their girlfriend or wife last year in a rivalry game when they were up on Oregon State.
Styles make fights, right? And Oregon State, you had the style to beat Washington. Everything was checked off in that game for you to beat Washington. Rainy, sloppy. They're not great at stopping the run. You can hold the ball. Not against this Oregon team. All right, this isn't last year's Oregon team, right? They're already, the more the time passes, the more Oregon looks like an SEC front seven. That's what Dan does, right? You're not going to run over Oregon, and DJU's not good enough to throw you to a win. This game opened at 11.5. All right, so a lot of books have it at 14.5 right now. Some have it at 13.5 right now. I like the under in this game, and I also like Oregon to cover in this game. I think Oregon makes a statement in this game. They come out and Bo has a great game. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman, but I do think he has a great game, and I think they win convincingly against Oregon State.
And set up for the Pac-12 championship.
Absolutely.
I like it. All right, let's talk Texas for a minute. So Texas Tech, 3 straight wins. This win over UCF this past weekend got them bowl eligible. Now they're going to go on the road to Austin to play Texas for the last game of the season. Texas, despite Quinn Ewers going down for a few of those games, they remained unbeaten since that loss to Oklahoma. Quinn Ewers has come back. They keep rolling. They won on the road at Iowa State. So this one right here, Texas 10-1 right now, hosting Texas Tech. How do you have it?
Well, obviously it's a must win. And Texas, with Jonathan Brooks being out, the running back for the rest of the year, Quinn did look a little bit healthier last week, but I just don't feel like Texas is hitting on all cylinders right now. I don't think that Texas is playing their best ball at the end of the year, and that's what you want, right? Not saying you can't turn it around and figure something out, or maybe have a little reset during the break, getting ready for the Big 12 championship game, but you do have this game at home. If this game was at Texas Tech with Joey McGuire, which it was announced Tyler Shoug's going to transfer, and I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
As well as very classy post from Joey McGuire as well, a guy we have a lot of respect for here. You get this game at home. You found ways to win, whether it be on special teams and not playing great on offense. At some point, though, that switch has to get flipped. You got to turn back into this offense, even without Jonathan Brooks, because you still got, I know you got a couple guys beat up, Xavier Worthy, little bit beat up.
Yeah, he's a little bit beat up. I think he will be ready in this game.
But
different. Tell me.
But you're still better than Texas Tech, and I like what Baron Morton's come in and done. Since my birthday. They played TCU at home. They win that one 35-28. He was 28 of 36 for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You beat Kansas 16-13. He was 19 of 25. You beat UCF 24-23. He was 21 of 35. I mean, Baron Morton has come in. And when he's played, he's pretty much won. I mean, if we're going to be honest, I think he's done a pretty good job taking over. But this Texas Tech team going on the road, you're trying to play spoiler. You've got some team speed. I just think Texas is too much up front over 4 quarters, even though, again, they are not playing their best ball. What's the line on this?
This one's also minus 13.5, and the over-under's 53.
God, how do we feel about that over? I mean, Texas Tech.
I like the under, if anything.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, you know what Big 12 team right now is hitting on all cylinders?
There's not one.
Oklahoma State? No. I mean, you beat Houston, you get rolled by UCF. Oklahoma? No. Kansas State? No. Hell, if anybody's West Virginia. And West Virginia's playing.
I mean, Kansas State had a nice win on the road at Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, I like Texas in this game. I just don't think Texas Tech will have enough. I think Texas will be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, hold on to the football, stay on time when it comes to an offense. And I just don't think Texas Tech will be able to do what they did against UCF, and that's have 190 rushing yards against this Texas team. You lost your quarterback. Oh, the kid showed some flashes. But I like Texas in this game. I like them to cover, and I do like the under as well.
Do we worry about Texas stopping the pass?
Yes.
With Morton, though.
Not enough. He doesn't scare me enough to where I think they would lose.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to watch. We want to know what you think. Speaking about what you think, let's get to some calls, D.
All right, let's do it. We've got Cody in Illinois. Cody, what's going on, man?
Cody.
All right, who's ready to play? What year is it?
I
am. Cody.
I am.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions about a specific year, and you guys are going to tell me what year it is. And once again, I'll ask you guys not to use any electronic devices.
Eyes forward.
We'll see about it.
All right, collegiate champion. The Texas Longhorns won the College Baseball World Series. Professional champion. The San Antonio Spurs won the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Sensational rookie. Drafted 12th overall by the San Diego Chargers. Sean Merriman would go on to win the NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Individual accomplishment. Tiger Woods defeated Chris DeMarco on the first hole of a playoff at the Masters, winning the green jacket for a fourth time. Significant event. On July 22nd of this year, the NHL officially ended their lockout, which had been ongoing for over 10 months, that effectively canceled an entire season. What year is it, fellas?
All right. We're in the 2000s.
Spurs.
We're in the
Popovich.
2000s. Popovich,
Spurs.
all that. Tiger's fourth green jacket. So we're in like
2000?
We're in like, and then Sean Merriman too. He's a little older than us. He would have been a defensive rookie win.
Do we get like a phone a friend or?
We get to see.
Can we call Sean?
Yeah, can we call Sean?
Let's call Tiger.
What's up, man?
Dude, was that 2000?
They won the Baseball World Series.
2008?
What video game were they on?
2008?
What video game were they on? God, it feels like
it was
2009.
No, I don't think so. Tiger won his fourth jacket before then. And plus, wasn't 2009, wasn't that Lakers? Was that
I believe you're right.
Championship?
What, you feel like it's earlier?
A little earlier, I think.
Not 2001, right?
No. We're somewhere between then.
When was Tiger? When did he beat DeMarco?
When did the Spurs win? They won like 5 championships, right?
Yeah. Wasn't 2004?
No.
We're like 2000.
It's
I was in
close.
college. I was in college when.
I think it's 2007. Now that I think about it,
It's not 4.
it's in between 2005 and
Okay,
2007.
I think it's 5.
Pistons won in 2004.
Okay.
Pistons won
that's
in
right.
2004. Remember, they had the big 3.
And it was because of Manu.
Let's go 2005. I like 2005. I think that's right.
Sean Merriman.
Okay.
I like that. 2005. Let's go with 2005.
Come on, Cody.
All right, 2005 is your final answer.
God, you love the way it sounds, don't you?
All right, it is 2005.
Come on, baby. That's how you own trivia.
Shun the non-believers.
That was a team effort right
Great
there.
job, Cody. Thank you, my friend.
I love that, man.
Yes.
Gotta take a deep breath on that one.
All right.
Well done,
We got
team.
next.
Thanks, Cody. All right, we got Matthew in Arkansas. Matthew, what's up?
What's up, boys? It's that heartbroken hog.
There he is.
Hey, congrats on keeping Sam Pittman,
Yeah, man, good luck.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, open a cold one for him, I guess. He's going to need a lot this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I almost don't even have words for it, really. I just want to ask you guys, if you were Sam Pittman, I mean, what are you going to do to fix this program?
Well, here's what I would do. You want to know what I would do? I would pick up the phone, all right, because I don't think Kenny Guyton is, for lack of the guy. I would pick up the phone, and I would call whoever the agent is of Brendan Marion, the OC at UNLV. Sorry, Barry Odom, right? Love Barry. He was at Arkansas. He's obviously the head coach of Missouri. He's the DC at Arkansas. And I need that go-go offense in Fayetteville. That's what I need. I need that. And if you haven't seen it, I'm telling you, it's a lot of it's really tough to defend. It's kind of a blend of a lot of different things. It's something you really got to see to understand it. But I think Arkansas needs something sexy, right? I think they need some
Mochaccino face.
Mochaccino face. I'm gonna throw a dead animal.
Dead animal on you.
Someone We need someone KJ Jefferson likes because we need him back next year. I do not want to see him transfer to Mississippi State or Ole Miss and beat us next year.
Well, there's one place he could transfer to.
that I'm
that'd
hearing
be
a whisper
pretty
in the
sweet.
wind. He might go.
No. Come on now.
Look, I think KJ could run that offense just fine. I think it's something where I don't think right now Arkansas has the personnel to be able to, and it's crazy thinking about Sam Pittman being the offensive line guy he is, be able to line up and just bulldoze people. Like, I don't think them going to a true pro style or, hey, let's get in 12 personnel and, let's go back to
Your defense isn't good enough.
Just downhill. That's their biggest problem.
I would play a game of how many players can I get out of the transfer portal.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to.
That's the game I'm playing. I'm trying to dominate the transfer portal.
Everyone's playing that game.
Yeah, I know, but I want to be the best at it.
Well, here's the
Everyone
thing,
plays.
Here's
Here's
the thing, too, though. Like, if you got to re-recruit your own players. Like Matthew was talking about, the first thing you got to do is recruit the guys that are still there. That's the hardest part of the transfer portal now.
You'd be like, y'all, you know what? Y'all just leave.
Yeah. No, you need an exodus, but the right exodus.
All right.
Like when Deion came in and was like, listen, I'm going to bring in my own Louis. So, Trevor, you're out of here. Or whatever it was.
Yeah, just go paint an X on the dorm room doors of the guys you want to keep.
Yeah.
One more thing that's been weighing on my mind these last couple days.
Gravity?
I'm trying to figure out the answer. What's more embarrassing? Getting blown out at home by New Mexico State or being the team that got blown out by the team at home by New Mexico State? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look, I think it's more embarrassing to lose against New Mexico State because 100 years from now when they're like, hey, 100%. Auburn beat Arkansas 48-10, we'll be like, all right, it's SEC, whatever. 100 years from now when we say New Mexico State beat Auburn injured in hair 31-10, people, you're going to get arrested.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew. I'm glad I almost made it to 7:45 without thinking about it again.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it,
dude.
We got Jimbo on the line in New York. Jimbo, how are you?
New York City.
Devious, man.
He's not in New York City.
Don't get complicated, dude.
Good morning, fellas. This is your boy, Q-Smo Jimbo here.
What's up, dude?
Jimbo.
So, obviously, look, I just wanted to call in to express my thoughts about our AD's decision to fire Coach Gino Babers. And at this point, I do believe that it was necessary, being the realist that I am, too. So,
yep.
So, I just want to go over a few highlights. Major wins over Clemson in 2017 and Florida State in 2018. Big for our program. We had our first double-digit winning season since 2001, which, look, for most programs, that's embarrassing. And to us, it sucks that we had to wait this long for this while. But to have somebody do that is incredible, though, to revive our program. Now, he brought great energy, and he had some of the most epic and viral locker room speeches you'll ever hear. He's a great human being and a player's coach. Now, with that being said, here are the critiques that I had, and then here are the things that ultimately led up to his firing. He's 41-55 overall. He's 20-45 in ACC play. Now, get this next stat. He's 7-25 in the month of November. He's only had 2 winning seasons, 1 bowl win. He did poorly in recruiting. He consistently ranked among the worst in the nation in the number of penalties and the amount of penalty yardage. This stat right here boggles my mind. He uniquely struggled with the clock management, specifically in the 2-minute drill. I cannot tell you how many times he would just blow the last half of the stretch. And he also, watching Tommy DeVito play and just ball out against Washington yesterday.
His mom's making that gabagool.
Come on, you touch my ass with Tommy?
It brings me to this, though. He failed to develop former 4-star recruit Tommy DeVito. And, he tried to treat him like Eric Dungey. Like Eric Dungey was a fire plug. He was an RPO type guy. Tommy DeVito was mobile to an extent, but he wasn't that. And I think that goes on coaching.
Yeah.
Well, most teams would have fired him after year 5 when he went 1-10 in 2020.
Our AD was very patient. I think Dino saved his job starting at 6-0 in 2022, which we know how the rest of that year went. He completely lost the offensive identity after losing to Georgia Tech last Saturday. And we're at the point right now where we can't even throw the ball downfield at all. So is there anything I missed there? Like, just
No. And look, I coached against Dino before in the Camellia Bowl. And Bowling Green, they beat us when he was at Bowling Green. Here's what I'll say. I think it shows you where the standard is at Syracuse when you're able to fire a head coach and you're still able to make a bowl game, have a chance to play in a bowl game. I think it shows you that nobody's given up there. It had to happen. You don't root for anybody to get fired. Well, there's a couple guys you root for, but most of the time you don't want people to get fired. I'll say this: if I'm Syracuse, if I'm the AD, the first person I'm calling is Curt Cignetti at James Madison. What's it going to take? Because I don't think I know people have talked about. I've heard people say Tony White, who was at Syracuse before, who's the Nebraska DC now, just no head coaching experience. I mean, you never really know, but I would make Cignetti tell me no.
Look, there's a guy, and look, I always go the same. Hold on, Jimbo. Hold on. All right, I always go the same.
Yeah,
yesterday's history. All right, tomorrow's a mystery, but today's a gift. All right, and if we're Syracuse, how are we getting better today? There's a guy out there right now who's probably doing 225 on incline bench somewhere. All right.
Every time.
Every time.
Who was waiting to take over that Syracuse program and running even further into the ground.
Hey,
hell no.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
He just had that one saved.
You didn't even recruit, dog. You didn't even recruit. No. You just sat in there and played Minesweeper while you did a stress ball to make your wrist stronger.
At least Syracuse fans, we like Dino Babers as a person. Like, Auburn, y'all don't even like Harsin as a person at all. Matter of fact, y'all despise him from what I see.
I mean, no, he just blew it.
Yeah, blew it.
He just
absolutely blew it.
I don't hate anybody except
Jimbo, we'll see. We'll keep our eye on it, brother.
Fans. Appreciate it, Jimbo.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for that information, man. Let's go to Josh in North Carolina. Josh, what's up?
Hey, I just want to apologize for a quick second. I know my voice sounds like crap, but it shows how much I was screaming at the Tennessee-Georgia game. So I gave it my all.
All right. You gave it your all.
I'm waiting.
All right, I'm getting to it. So I made a bet with Jake's little brother. And for all the talk about how it's going to be a murder, he would not give me the spread. So it just shows you how scared Blaine was.
You know why I did that? You know why I did that? Because I love you. That's why I did that. I didn't want you to have to call me Master Flaming Dragon for the rest of the year. Okay? You're welcome.
Yeah, that's true. But thank you. You know what, Master Flaming Dragon, I appreciate it. I only got to do it for a week, and I love you for doing that. Yes, I'm bowing right now. But anyways, back to the game. Honestly, what me and my buddy do, we've gone to 3 different Tennessee games since 2021. The first one we went to was Tennessee, Georgia, and that was watching the best defense in the country was something different.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bloodbath. Went to the Tennessee-Florida game last year, and that was a great game. Then we went to this game this year, and I got to say, out of all 3 games, especially in the first half, that is the loudest I've ever heard.
How crazy was it
long time
after that opening play? Like, how just nuts was it?
Jay, I'm not being metaphorical with it. I couldn't hear myself think. My ears were ringing. That's how loud. I mean, it was insane. And then when they got on defense, it somehow got even louder. Like, it was nuts for at least the first half. Just absolutely crazy. And it just goes to show you, I mean, I know we lost. It goes to show you how much Coach Heupel means to this team. He's brought us back from the doldrums. I mean, I know we're 7-4, but I mean, watching Joe Milton play in person, the throws are worse in person than on TV, like the overthrows.
Yeah.
Like on TV, it doesn't look that bad. In person, it looks horrible. Like every time me and my buddy were watching it, we're like, that's an overthrow, and then it was an overthrow. Like, you could just tell. I mean, it was just something's off. Like, just every time he throws it. But I mean, I think I think honestly, you let Joe Milton finish out the season. You might as well. I mean, because we haven't played the freshmen at all. I don't know. I was going to ask y'all, what do y'all think? You think the freshmen should play the last 2 games, or you think Joe Milton should finish it out?
Get him experience. We're 7-4. 7-4.
Should have been playing.
He needs to play. He's the future, right? You think Joe Milton's going to be?
He is.
Like you, at some point, we got to turn this. What do we say? You put you on the raft, right? While everybody's in the village, put the old person on the raft. Everybody just singing. They got torches. They just push you down the river. Thanks for the memories. It's time for Joe Milton to be. Just let him.
I mean, Josh, what was it like?
If you love something, sometimes you got to let it go.
Absolutely, Josh. What was it like? Just to hit that first touchdown, first play, out of the gate. 76, 74 yards, and then just get brutally beat up for 3 quarters after that.
I know. I mean, it's probably how it felt for y'all losing to New Mexico State.
Well, see, Josh, here's the good part.
And it's so bad.
Here's the good part, though. We're already dead inside.
You can't hurt me, Josh.
So, you can't hurt me. You can't kill me.
Y'all had hope.
Wait. Hold on. You're dead inside. You've seen a national championship in 2010.
That's why I can be dead. That's what officially killed me.
Yeah.
Because now, guess what? New Mexico State.
You never sippeth. You don't know what it feels like to be on top of the mountain, and now you're just looking up.
Josh, I hope you guys get to the top. Just once. That's all we ask.
Same here, brother.
Georgia Bama fan where I won it every year. One time, and I could die happy.
So you say.
One time. That's it.
Hey, you remember when Ronnie Brown ran over Eric Berry?
Okay, he ran over Jason Allen, but you were close.
Okay.
Eric Berry still had the most badass intro before a game that I've ever. They had a whole song about him.
Dude,
Eric Berry, very scary.
Eric Berry,
best player in our Josh.
Secondary.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's go to Ben in Missouri. Ben, how you doing?
Hey, I'm tell you what, I'm not too worried about my Missouri Tigers there going into Arkansas. The line is 7.5, and the over/under is 55.5. But I got to talk today about my love-hate relationship with my Denver Broncos. Okay,
Ooh, I love it. I love that you hate it and love it.
I hate that you love it, and also love that you hate it.
Well, I love how we're going to set ourselves up for a really bad draft position after barely missing the playoffs.
Hey, I wonder. I actually what at some point last night during that game was like, God, man, it's going to suck when y'all finish right in the middle of the pack and just miss the playoffs.
They always do.
It just are you happy right now, or are you just, I don't know, is it just kind of touch and go?
Well, I told my Chiefs fans, because, of course, I live in Kansas City, and I told them both after the Bills game and this one, of course, where you win by the skin of your teeth. And I said, this is like the hangover game, where you go to the bar, you have a few too many to drink, you see this chick, she looks nice, you bring her home, then you wake up the next morning and she's a 4 out of 10, okay?
No.
You won, but did
looks
you
like she
really
plays
win?
for the Broncos?
And probably on the O-line, yeah. But, I told Chiefs fans, I said, look, you guys had Alex Smith, right? And he brought you guys back from the brink. You had been trashed for decades. He comes in there and you have 4 11-win seasons in a row. But guess what? You also lost in the first round all 4 of those years.
Yeah.
And eventually the Chiefs brass said, you know what? This isn't good enough. This is the sky's ceiling. And we're going to go out and pluck Mahomes from obscurity, and we're going to go win a couple Super Bowls. And he was the difference. And so people think I'm crazy for not thinking that Russ is going to get us there, but I just don't see the play that he does. I mean, if Mahomes were to have the same stat line that Russ has, something's a problem. Something's going on. But when Russ does it, it's somehow good enough to win. And I guess a win is a win, but at some point I know that I just don't think we're going to ever get to even sniff a Super Bowl with him as our quarterback. What do you think?
I agree with that. I don't think the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think just because he's getting nothing but older, I think that at one point Sean Payton and Russell Wilson could have combined for a Super Bowl. I mean, he won it with Pete Carroll, a defensive-minded head coach. You bring in Sean Payton. I think you're seeing the Russell Wilson that we had seen in Seattle. So things have clearly gotten better since the Nathaniel Hackett experiment last year. But I agree with you moving forward. Sean Payton, and I thought the same thing about John Gruden when he took the job with the Raiders. Derek Carr is serviceable. I was surprised to see John Gruden, who knows how important the quarterback position. I was surprised to see him stick with Derek Carr season after season. I think the same thing here. I think Sean Payton is already looking ahead like, who's the guy that we could go get? Not to come in and start right away, though. I mean, the way that Russell Wilson is playing, you have several good seasons that you can put together after this. And Sean Payton's one of those old school coaches that knows, hey, I could go draft a guy now to let him learn behind Russell Wilson and not do what it seems like a third the league is doing right now and having to start rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, Ben, great call, buddy.
Appreciate it, Ben.
Yep. Hey, Ben.
All right, let's go we got 2 more callers. I want to try and get to them both. So, Parker, you got 30 seconds here. How's it going, man?
Hey, man. Just going to frickin' Charlotte. ACC championship.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, what a year one, right? Here's the thing, though.
I know. I mean, does he now get head coach of the year? I mean, or
I think he's going to win one of the offshoots. I think, well, if they win the ACC,
he should get it.
He should get it. They beat Florida State. But here's what I always find interesting in these situations, right? And Brahms a lot more traveled than Mel Tucker was, right? And some of these other guys. You go from one place to the other. At that new place, that first year, you ball. Ball. And then all of a sudden, what do you start to hear? Oh, no. Like, well, these guys want to talk to him, or these guys want to talk to him, or is he going to take the Mississippi State job or something like that? And then you go give him $900 million, for a 10-year contract, and you really still don't know. I think this is a different situation because we know who Coach Brahm is. Like, I think we've seen enough. And Louisville is his alma mater. He played there. That's mama.
The only place he would probably maybe go, probably not after his first year as pro.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
But I don't think he's leaving after 1 year.
And you go to a 12-team playoff, the next year. Like, man, it's been. I'm really happy for you guys, man. I really am.
I mean, it's hard not to.
Just don't lose the pit.
I mean, oh my God, I know. It's always going to burn the back of my mind. But I mean, hey, it's his first year. We'll beat Pitt next year. We'll just smack him around next year just for revenge. But I mean, on the other end of it, I mean, who do we replace Kenny Payne with? I mean, they were super close with Texas. I didn't think that would happen. Thought we'd get blown out by them, but I mean, I just don't think he's gonna. He's just not gonna.
It's a matter of when, not if. I'd have to look at really, who's available out there. We know Louisville's a destination job. I'd have to really look down or sit down and look at who's out there right now. I mean, we're about to get into college basketball too here as it ramps up as we get to conference play. So, but no, man. Hey, I know this. Going to Charlotte, you ought to get one of those Booster Club hoodies and rock it. That'd be pretty sweet.
Even before that, you got a big in-state matchup, man.
Yeah, so Kentucky. Don't overlook them.
Call us next week after the Kentucky game.
Kentucky gets up for it, man. So it's not going to be an easy game.
No.
They always do. No matter if Louisville's doing excellent, no matter if they're doing poor, they always get up. And I don't think we've had a coach that really gets our players up for that. But Brahm hates losing, and he's going to really, really hate losing to Kentucky. So
a lot of people don't remember that Brahm.
We'll have that issue.
A lot of people don't remember that Brahm XFL interview.
Yeah,
I remember it.
Yeah,
is this the XFL?
Do I have a pulse? Then let's go play football.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna watch it, man. Repeat this week. All right, Jake, last caller today. What? Jake, we got 20 seconds, man. How are you?
Not you.
Hey, man. I just wanted to offer my condolences for the New Mexico State game. But it really got me thinking. What are the expectations for Hugh at Auburn? Because his best 2 seasons at Ole Miss and Liberty, he dropped a game that he shouldn't have. And my thought process is, how long of a leash? I know it's his first year and it's the worst team he's going to have, but how long of a leash is he going to have where he drops games he's supposed to win and he doesn't essentially do what Gus Malzahn did, which was beat Alabama every other year. And, you never win anything for it because you always lose to teams you shouldn't lose to.
Yeah.
So, I know it's his first year, so just think about it for a second.
I think first year. Obviously, losing to New Mexico State's a bad look, regardless of how good New Mexico State actually is. You can't continue to do that and expect it to stay at Auburn outside of you just running through Georgia and Bama and then somehow doing, which I don't know what's worse, dropping that game you shouldn't and running through both of those, or vice versa. I think it's 3. Right, I think it's the pretty much the normal cycle. I know a lot of it's 2 years now. I think it's 3 years, and look, there's some questions. with Hugh Freeze about his ability in November. I know that there was a bunch of Liberty fans that reached out to me. Apparently, Jerry Kills just got his number last 3 times they played, something like that. But you can't continue to lose those games, right, and stay at a place like Auburn. But the expectation at Auburn is what the expectation always is at Auburn. You expect to win, right? You expect to win. You expect to contend. You expect to be right there with Alabama and Georgia and stuff like that. I don't think the standard has been lowered, but I think people that are panicking right now, last week after they beat Arkansas like that, you'd have thought he was the smartest man in the world with the way that people were acting. That's how it is when you're trying to build a culture, when you're dealing with the 18 to 22-year-olds, and that's not making excuses. Auburn shouldn't have lost that game. I think that loss was on everyone involved in the program, the players and the coaches. I don't think it was just one thing. I know for a fact the coaches were literally telling them every single day about this New Mexico State team. I can promise you that. But the expectation won't change at Auburn. The standard won't change at Auburn. But we'll see if Hugh Freeze can find a way to win the games in November that he should win. And up to this point, let's be honest, I know it's year one, against the teams he was better than, they beat. Against teams he was worse than, they were in pretty much every game outside of LSU. But no, it's okay to be pissed off about this one, but I think it is year one. And I'm not saying Hugh Freeze is Nick Saban. He's not. But I watched Nick Saban them lose to La Monroe in year one. So let's just, I'd give it a little more time before, we started panicking.
Patience. Look, he can only get out there what he has right now. I just don't think our players are that good. I really don't. But the difference is go pull up that recruiting.
Yes.
Look what Hugh's doing in recruiting. You go win that. You go win the transfer portal. You have to give this man time, all right? It's in the past. I will be the beacon of hope for Auburn, all right? Big one this Saturday. Who knows? You win this one. You win this one Saturday. They'll forget about New Mexico.
Yeah, they'll forget New Mexico.
That'll be gone forever. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, I know. I know one guy who would have not have lost to New Mexico State.
If you say what I think
Brian
you're about to say.
Carson.
Hang up the phone.
I don't know.
Hang up the phone.
I don't know.
Maybe not in year one. We have Bo Nix.
Yeah, the guy who's about to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
That must have been great.
We believe in you.
In this offense.
I know.
We believe in you on this show.
Yeah, it's a freeze. Appreciate it, Jake. Thank you. You got a great name. I'll see you at the Jake convention early next year. All right, I'm going to head over. Let's chat, Blaine. What's up?
Yeah, New York Noel. Hey, call in tomorrow, buddy. All right, we'll get you in here. All right, I will make a point of it to get you in here. Let's go to Maximum involved with a $10 donation. Maximum to the Volunteers. Does Nico play in the bowl game?
Why not?
Why not?
Get the man ready. What does Will Ferrell say on Eastbound and Down with Jackie Schaefer?
I love you.
Let the boy watch.
Let's go to Bryant Ward with a $5 donation. Boise State won on the road. Fresno State lost to New Mexico. Boise controls their destiny to the Mountain West Championship. Do y'all think they can do it?
It's coachless Boise? Yes, it's the Mountain West. Who the hell knows? I'm just so upset that Fresno State lost that game because Reed had this Rhinos parlay, $520 to win. And the last bet she had to hit was just Fresno State money.
Did you need that Jerry Jeudy touchdown last night?
No, Cooper Kupp didn't score.
I was watching that. I was like, he dropped into Jason.
No, yeah. Cooper Kupp didn't score that first touchdown.
He got hurt as well. Let's go to JC_AU20, $5 donation, boys. Happy Monday, boys.
Yep.
Had to spread some bread around after Thicker Kicker sealed the deal on a plus 5,000 parlay for me Saturday.
Love it.
War Eagle. Come on, baby. Shia LaBeouf clap. Shia LaBeouf clap.
Give him the Shia LaBeouf. Congrats.
Let's go to David Melton. I'm Melton for you. It's a $5 donation. Leveling up to 42 today.
Yes.
Love the show. Since you got me to college football, should I stay loyal to Maryland or root for an actual natty contender? David, let me tell you what you need to do.
David, listen.
All right. You need to come down to what they like to call God's country. All right, so in the Plains. You're now an Auburn fan. All right? You go buy that. You go buy that Crane & Company hoodie. All right? And you rock that, and you go buy an Auburn hat. And you rock those together.
No.
We need all we can get.
Here's what you do. You pull for the team that just, I don't know, like most recently beat Maryland, let's say. And then when it comes basketball time, you still pull for the Terrapins. That's what you do.
I like that.
All right, let's go to Q-Smo Jimbo, $2 donation. Is Ron Rivera the most overrated head NFL coach ever?
I thought he was about to talk about Syracuse.
Ever.
I wouldn't say ever.
No.
I wouldn't say ever.
Big one by the Giants this weekend. Hey, Charlie, big one by the Giants this weekend, huh?
God, they can't. Washington, D.C., they can't do anything right. They can't even beat Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. Let's go to, not Drew Aller.
So, Drew.
What's up, Drew?
$5 donation.
Great win over Rutgers. I was watching a cripple fight.
This is going to be a good one, I feel.
I'm not going to read this one.
Why not?
The bets.
How dare you?
Thanks for the $5 donation, Drew.
It's about
Appreciate
beer pong. How'd you guys play this weekend?
Played well.
Did you?
Look,
we're gentlemen here.
To all the, I know what they're trying to do, but me and Jake,
we're gentlemen
before we played this game against Turley and Reed, came up to me and said, like, look, he can't beat his wife in beer pong.
Yeah, we don't. So, my family, we don't beat our wives.
As a Southern gentleman, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We let them win.
We don't beat our wives.
Someone should have told you.
Maybe you're not used to that, Justine, where you're from in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah. All right.
Dressing is.
Get to Booster Club Bets. Brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER. Because new customers can bet $5 on the NFL Thanksgiving action. It's Turkey Day, baby. To score $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. With code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, the crown is yours. Here's what we got tonight. Eagles plus 3.5. Vince Papale, let's get it. Minus 142. Then I'm going to go the over. Right? Under will probably hit, but I'm going to go the over 45.5. That's at minus 115. Diesel.
Little two-game parlay here. Eagles plus 3.5 and the over at 33.5.
Oh,
that's
you
minus 110. Okay. Do what?
I thought we were going to be bet buds, and I forgot you had the over.
Yeah, I got it paired with it there, so you know that one won't hit. Then the Chiefs TTP over 23.5, minus 122. Look, it's time to figure things out. We're at the back half of the schedule now for the Chiefs. Let's get the ball to Travis Kelce. Let's stop worrying about the Buenos Aires tour for Taylor Swift or whatever's going on.
I'm going to switch my bets up. I thought about it, and I'm going to change it. Eagles money line, I'm going to keep that. That's plus 130. I was going to take the under, but the more I look at it, the less I liked it. Give me A.J. Brown over 84.5 receiving yards because the fantasy gods hate me, and I know how this game's going to go.
So why would you not just do A.J. Brown first touchdown scorer then? No. They're going to kill you. They're going to kill you early.
No, they'll kill me late just to make me hold on.
Oh, that's the worst.
Over 84.5, that's going off at minus 114.
All right, Ace, he's going to go Kansas City money line minus 148, and Travis Kelce anytime touchdown at minus 110. Also, all right, make sure you grab that hoodie.
Let's go to the poll. Will Florida State make the playoffs? See? On me.
I'm going to say they said no. 61%.
No, 51%.
Yes. 60. No.
What?
Yes. 40.
Yes.
No.
I don't know what just happened.
60%. Well, I tried to trick you.
Oh. So that no is 60%?
Yeah, it's no 60%.
No, so they think they'll lose to either Florida or the ACC championship.
Well, very interesting. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us. Great job in the chat. Go buy one of those hoodies. We got the link in there. Really appreciate it. It helps out the show. Make sure you're subscribed. Got a great show for you tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving week. Thanks for kicking it off with us on this Monday. And like the chances.
Boo, Alabama. Boo!
Like the chances of us not letting Reed and Justine win.
You just had a stroke.
We're going.
Still can't catch.
Gone. I've caught like 90% of them.